Good evening, and you are welcome to today's session of the NGIGO lecture series. Today we are here to look at how to manage citations, and today specifically we'll be looking at how to use a software called Zotero to manage citations. Now, the objectives of today's presentation are: 1, to understand what Zotero is and how to use it to manage the various citations that you have. Also, we are going to learn how to add a variety of resources to the Zotero and organize them. Okay, so assuming that you are working on different sets of projects, after organizing the set of resources that you have, you can always put them into folders and label them as such, so that anytime you want to revisit a particular research work or project that you carried out, you can just get access to it. Also, use the Zotero references to create citations and then also bibliographies from Microsoft Word. And then lastly, we're also going to learn how to sync the Zotero to a variety of devices, and that will be mainly syncing what we are doing online and also syncing it to your personal computer. So without much ado, would start with the first step in trying to use Zotero. The first step is that you have to try and then download the application. It's actually a free software from the internet. Now, Zotero comes in two different formats. You have the standalone Zotero, and then you have the Zotero that works with Firefox. Now, to get to the Zotero website, we key in www.zotero.org. to get to the Zotero website, where we can access the particular software that we want to use. Now, it's very important that you try and then register the Zotero software that you use. And this would actually help you to be able to use Zotero even without you having your own computer. If you have someone else's computer, the registration enables you to still access your own folders that you have saved in Zotero with the various resources that are available. So to register, you click on the register button, and in the register page, or on the register page, there's a column to fill in your username. You may be asked to key in, let's say, your email address, confirm the email address, put in a password, and so on. So having done that, you finally come to this last button here to click register. And once you are registered, your Zotero account is ready, so that anytime that you, let's say, fill in the software with any kind of resource or any kind of citation, it will be there for use for you at any time, no matter where you find yourself. So assuming it's an internet cafe you visited, you can use their computer. Once you log in with your username, you can still access any of the files that you have saved or any of the resources that you have saved. Now, let's get back to the home page of Zotero. I mentioned that we have the standalone Zotero, and then we have the Zotero that works with Firefox alone. So if you come over to this button, you click download now. Okay, so over here we have the Zotero 4.0 for Firefox, and it also comes in with a plugin for Word, or the free office. Libre is a French word meaning free office. So after downloading this particular Firefox version, Zotero Firefox version, you will also download a plugin for Word so that it will help you to sync or synchronize everything you put into your Zotero folder into MS Word, so that when you are doing your research and you need to put in your citations, you can easily do that. And then we also have the Zotero for Windows, which we call the Zotero Standalone. That can work with Firefox, as well as work with Google Chrome, and then with Safari. These are other browsers that can work with Zotero, especially the standalone Zotero version. And so for people who probably are not using Firefox and are using Google Chrome or the Safari, you can use this particular type of Zotero version. And now this one comes in with plugins for Word. They are all included in this particular package. And so you wouldn't need to re-download or download the plugins for Word and then the LibreOffice. They are all part of the setup. But for today's class, we'll be looking at the Zotero 4.0 for Firefox alone. In actual fact, Zotero comes with a lot of things that can be done. But then today we are just going to look at some of the basic things that we can do with the Zotero. Later on, you can try your hands and explore the Zotero software more to get to know other things that you can do. So when you successfully download the Zotero 4.0 for Firefox, if you have a successful download and installation, you're going to have a sign up here which is labeled set. That is the Zotero icon to tell you that you have successfully been able to download Zotero onto your browser. Yes.
So it means that before you start, what you want to do for Zotero 4.0 for Firefox, your browser should be Firefox.
It should be Firefox.
You mean your default browser or one of the browsers you want to?
No, assuming you are working with multiple browsers, then that means that in doing this installation, you have to make sure that this default is Firefox so that it will work with the Firefox.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a default because, like the computer you are using, you realize there are a lot of browsers on it. Firefox is not a default browser. The default browser is rather the Bedroom, yeah, the default browser. But then, when you are doing the installation itself, you just browse. The browsing and the installation is done with the Firefox whilst you are here. Or even if you do it in the other one, when you click on it, it will just launch the Firefox itself. And the only thing that you can use it only when you are browsing your things through the Firefox. But if you use the standalone, that one you can use it with the other, what do you call it? Other browsers, yes.
Okay, so with a standalone, if you want to download, you can download it through Firefox, install it in Firefox, or it can be in any of the other browsers that are available. Okay, so having been able to successfully download the Zotero, you have this icon appearing on at the top menu bar. Okay, and when you click it, you have this window opening. Okay, you have this window opening, and there are a number of small icons on them which have various uses. Okay, now when you open Zotero for the first time, you need to set certain things up that would help you to successfully use or conveniently use Zotero. One of the very important things you need to do is to go to the settings icon here, and then you click on that icon, and then you go down to preferences. You go down to preferences. Now we have the general preferences site, and realize that we have a number of let's say applications or things that you can let Zotero do for you. And so if there are any of them that you think over here, they are all already checked, but if there's something you think you wouldn't need and you want to uncheck it, you are free to do so. Now apart from when you move away from the general settings, you go to the synchronization setting. Okay, so at the synchronization setting, you also have various options to choose from. One of them is to instruct Zotero to sync automatically every information or every resource you put into the Zotero pane into, let's say, the online system and also onto your own personal computer system, such that if you are offline but then you want to make use of any of the resources in the library that has been created, you can still access it to be able to do your work. Okay. Also, you also have another icon or a tool, that's the search tool. Okay, and over here you can use it to especially when it comes to PDF files, you're supposed to have these applications here. We have PDF to text version 3.02 and then PDF info version. Actually, with Zotero, you can be able to just pick a PDF file and drop it into your Zotero pane and right-click it and allow it to, let's say, download all the details about that PDF files and then store it in the system, such that if you later on want to cite or reference that particular PDF file, all the required information needed, that's including names of the authors, the title of the publication, the journal name, everything is going to appear for you. Hitherto, you may open the PDF file and you will want to copy all the information there manually into Zotero, but that's a long process. So if there's a shorter process by just picking the PDF file and dropping it in, and then just automatically loading the metadata of the PDF into the system, that makes it much easier. So you need to make sure that these two applications here are actually installed. We already worked on this before coming to the class, but initially you realize that it will say that they are not installed, so you have to proceed to install them. You can also export, that's from the export icon here. You can also export some of your resources to other destinations, either on your computer or to other online sources. And then one very important feature here also is the citation, the area for citation. And over here, you realize that because you'll be doing your work in MS Word, you need a plugin for Microsoft Word so that you can always access the resource you have to be able to cite. So over here, we have this here saying that get word processor plugins. Okay, it's not automatically installed, so you will have to install it. And I think when we first went to the Zotero web homepage, we saw that there is there was an icon there that you can click to actually install the plugins for Word.
Okay, so assuming my word processor is not Microsoft Word, that will it support it?
That I'm not too sure, but I realize that we have, apart from Microsoft Word, we also have the Word Lib, which is also another form of version of a Word document, which is not necessarily Microsoft Word. Okay, that you can use. Okay, so there are other buttons there which you can make some other settings, okay, to enable you to just use your Zotero conveniently. All right, I wouldn't go into this advanced area, but then I'll show you something later, especially when it comes to the various citation styles. Okay, you may need to select the citation style that you want Zotero to use. And I think as you went through mainly and then endnotes, I'm sure you came across various citation styles that you may want to choose one or the other to for your work when you want to carry out citations. Okay, leaving that particular settings button, we come to this other button here, just indicated by a plus. This is there for you to add a particular resource. And that's usually for when you want to add a resource manually. Okay. Okay, you want to add a resource manually. So when you click the drop down button there, you realize that you have a book, you have book section, you have documents, there's a journal article, newspaper article, and so on and so forth. When you come down to more, you realize that there is a whole list of things that you can actually add. Okay, when you want to actually put in the detail concerning the resource you want to add. So if it's a letter, there is some information about the letter you want to actually get into Zotero. In case you want to use it as a citation, you want to be able to do that. So let me just let's just do an example, or just check one thing out. Assuming we click on book, maybe you have a textbook you found in the library, but maybe you checked online and you are not finding that book to be able to automatically just import into Zotero, the information into Zotero. You have the book, you have the references, you have the author's name, the publishing company, what have you. And maybe you pick some information from certain pages. You want to be able to put that resource into Zotero. You click on the book like we have done here, and then you come to this pane. You come to this pane and realize the first column here you have is the title of the book for you to type manually inside there. And then the name of the authors. You can have as many authors as you want to put there. So assuming there are 5 authors, after filling in the first author's name, the last and the first name, you just click on the plus button. You click on the plus button. Okay, because we haven't yet entered anything. Okay, but assuming we just put dog here, and then the first name as
Dogaji.
and then maybe we have John over here. Okay, we can now click the plus sign to make space for another author's name. So we can just fill it in. If you have the series number, the volume number, whichever information that is available and you want to put inside there. If you have the ISBN number, whichever information, detail you want to put there, you can load all that manually. But assuming you have that book online, then of course you can just derive it online, okay, automatically into Zotero. So you only search for the book, and when it's there, you can click on this Zotero. Usually, if it's a book, you have an icon appearing next to this Zotero icon, okay, which will, when you click on it, will allow that the detail of that particular book to be imported into Zotero, and then you can.
So why will you do the search for the book in a different tab or something?
Yes, of course. Okay, so over here right now, you can just click this to open to a new tab.
Okay.
And then maybe
let's go to Library Genesis and then download the book.
Well, you can as well do that. If you have some databases, especially the library databases, that you can access a book from there, why not? You can go to that site and then just get the information about the book, and then you can just import the information into Zotero. All right. Now, this other button we have here is when you want to add a particular resource which has, let's say, a special identification number. So you have, let's say, the ISBN, you have these DOIs or PMIDs. You'll find this with certain books. Okay, so assuming we go to Google Scholar, and let's say we type in maybe childhood malaria. Okay. Childhood malaria. You can see that over here we have a number of resources here which are all talking about childhood malaria. Now, assuming any of them has let's click on this and see if it will present us with maybe an ISBN or a DOI.
Yes, now.
Okay, so we have the DOI down here. Okay, so we can just copy this DOI and then we go into Zotero and then we come to this column and just paste this DOI, the Zotero, and we just enter, and right away it gives us all the information about that particular book, okay, or that particular citation. So easily you have everything there.
So the details are showing.
Yes, the details are showing in the right pane.
Does it see that the paper itself as a menu? I see an icon looking like the paper as a menu.
Is it up here?
No, where you highlighted, where you pasted the ID.
Yes, over here.
No.
All I did was to just put in the
This one.
over here.
I see an icon there.
Where the title is severe.
Yeah, he's talking about the icon on that particular
Like the paper.
Yeah.
That paper icon.
Before the severe, there's
Just
a
like the way it comes in
Okay,
the- when it has been downloaded.
yes. Yes, it means that.
it has downloaded the paper.
Sorry.
No, it doesn't mean that.
No, it hasn't downloaded the paper. But then there's a way you can also download that PDF file into Zotero, so that later on when you want to access it, you can just click on it and you still get access to that paper.
You can read it from the Zotero.
Yes, you can read it from the Zotero itself. Okay. So we have all the detail down here. So that's to do with this particular area. If you have any ID that you can use to just easily access a particular publication or article, you can just put it there and you get it. Okay, well, this icon here is if you want to add a note, okay, into Zotero. Sometimes it may happen that you are looking for a particular resource, you've forgotten the name or the title of that, let's say journal, the publication, you've also forgotten the name of the author. But maybe the time you saved it in Zotero, you added a note to it, something that will easily help you to remember that particular thing. So assuming you add such a note into Zotero, when you are looking for that particular resource, you can just come to this search window over there and just put in that particular note, something little about that particular note. Maybe you even just entered page 33 and page 37 or something. That was just the note you put there, and right away it will help you to that particular resource to appear, for you to identify that resource. Okay, so if maybe whatever you put there, assuming an example of what you put there was just leprosy, okay, immediately you type in that leprosy over there, it should be able to show you where that particular article you are looking for or resource is.
Does it mean you have opened it?
Yes, that means you have opened and stored it there. Okay, so that you can easily get it. And even when you come to this other window, you realize that we have buttons for notes, tags, and then over here is for related articles. Assuming you had a particular article, but you realize there's a second article which is very close in terms of information to what you have. Okay, therefore you decided to actually tag that particular resource with that second article. You can also load it onto the area titled related, so that you can also easily access that second one if you want to use it. Okay, so at the moment we just have to, this was an example when we're citing if you want to manually load a book. Okay, and also there are times that you might come across a resource, maybe it was a printout, but then you searched and searched and searched on the net to you couldn't get it online. So you are forced to manually input the information into Zotero so that you can later use it for citation. That one too, you can still do that. Not only a textbook, but any other kind of information. And assuming maybe a web page or a news item that you just saw on the net, and you also want to cite it or get it into Zotero, you can easily do that. Now, I clicked on this severe childhood malaria. Now, you can also use Zotero to access multiple resources. Okay, you can access multiple resources. So over here, like this, when we keyed in childhood malaria PDF, and we had all these appearing, all these articles showing up. Maybe you took time to read through the various articles and realized that it was article number 1, 4, and 7 that will actually help you in your work. You don't need all of them. And you want to import that into Zotero. You click on this icon here, which is a folder. It's presenting all this information here as one folder. But then to import it into Zotero, you click on it, and then you can select the particular articles that you want to be in the Zotero, okay, for use. So we're just picking some at random. Okay, and then we click OK. And all these will be saved to the library in Zotero. So again, when we come to,
you have a way to go compile all such series into a particular folder.
In Zotero.
Okay, at the moment, because some of them are PDF, you are being prompted by the IDM to download those particular PDF files. Okay, so
while it is saving the thing, it is downloading the software,
the actual documents too for you.
All the
Yes.
That is if they are available for.
So this thing you are doing is almost the same as save to Mendeley. That day the network was not to appear like this. That's save to Mendeley thing.
Okay, so you can click start download, and it will download each of them. Okay, so you can later on be able to access those documents if you want them. I don't want us to occupy so much space on the PC, so we'll not download them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just leave them at that. Now, I also mentioned that I'll just want to go to a PDF file. I mentioned that you can just copy or just pick up a PDF file and drop it inside Zotero. Okay, so we just want to look at that
Go to
too.
the folder now.
Yes.
Right click on it. You should have right there. Go to research notes. Or come down, you should have it.
Okay.
How to test reliability.
No, that one is not.
Okay. We just want to get one PDF.
Just go down. Go down. Yeah. No, still. Go down. There should be. Yeah, pick any of this.
Okay. Okay, so we want to be able to cite the article in this particular PDF file. So all we do is to just pick the file like this and drop it into the Zotero pane. Alright, so we have this PDF file here. Now, you realize that when you click on it and you look at the window on the right, it's not really showing you any detail or information about that PDF file. The article there, nothing is showing. So what you do is that you come to the PDF file and then you right click it. When you right click it, you come down to this button here which says retrieve metadata for PDF. So you click on that, and it's going to retrieve every information that is needed for citation, for citing a particular file. Okay, so it's now coming. So the title of the paper there is Prevalence of Malaria Parasitemia in School Children from 2 districts of Ghana, earmarked for indoor residual spraying, cross-sectional study, and a long list of others. Okay, so the publication, the name of the journal is there, the volume, issue, what's not. You have the DOI number there. Okay, you have every detail there. Okay, so assuming the work we have been doing is maybe a project on malaria, we may want to create a folder for these resources we have here, so that anytime we want to go back to that work, we simply click on the folder and you have those files all inside that folder. So there is an icon here which says new collection. Okay, so we give it a name. Let's just say malaria project. Okay, so you see that at the moment you are not seeing anything inside here. Everything has now been put into that malaria project folder. So when you want to see them,
Go to the library.
no, we have my library over here. Okay, so we click on my library, and then you see those items back there in the page, and telling us that we have a total of 6 items in that particular view. So assuming later on we do another work and we also want to create a folder for it, we can do so and then label it as such. Okay, so at the moment we have created a library in Zotero, and this library will be available both online and then also on your PC. Okay, so that you can use it anytime you want to do your citations. So now we have a number of resources that we can now cite in our work. So let's go to Microsoft Word and then go and see how we can actually import.
Before we go, are we currently in the online version or the desktop version?
Okay, because this is being synced both into the online and then into your PC system, PC's library, you have it. So right now we can go offline, but then we have these things already in there.
So how does the desktop version look like?
The desktop version, we're going to come there when we come to the Microsoft Word. Okay. Okay, so let's go to Microsoft Word. Okay. All right. When you come to Microsoft Word, you realize that because we loaded the plugin for Zotero, you now have in the menu bar, you are having Zotero being shown here. Okay, so when you want to now work with Zotero, you can easily access Zotero from there. So assuming that in doing our work, we made a statement somewhere or we got an idea somewhere and we now want to reference. So assuming what the idea we had or what we have summarized is this article needs a citation. Okay. Now we want to know who or which resource where we got that information from. So what you can do is that you go to the Zotero button over there, and then you come over here to add or edit citation. Now when you click on add or edit citation, it will now ask you to choose the referencing or the citation style that you want. Okay. But over here, you realize that we just have a few. We just have a few referencing citation styles. But maybe there's a particular citation style you want to use, but that citation style is not part of what you have there in Zotero. You can go and then import the style that you want into Zotero. So let's close this and go back to Zotero, and we can go and then get a particular citation style that we want. So let me close this for the meantime, and let's just get back to, like we were saying, if you want to choose a citation style and you don't have the particular style you want to use in your Zotero Word plugin, you can go back to Zotero online and then choose the particular style that you want to use. So in the Zotero pane, you go to Preferences. Let me just go back. You go to Preferences from Settings, and then you go to Site. And at Site, you see word processors, and then you see styles. So you can go in and then click on the styles button. Now, these are what we have. These are what we have in the Zotero system by default. Okay. But then if the particular citation style you want to use is not there, you can go and get additional styles by clicking on this button, Get Additional Styles. Alright, so over here, 3D printing in medicine, blah blah blah. The list is very long.
Dominic's referencing style.
Okay, so there are so many referencing styles that one can choose. So when you choose it, it will now be added to the Zotero citation styles that you have. But at the moment, we'll not just pick any of them.
You have to pick them one by one, or there's a way to select multiple.
That I'm not too sure whether you can select multiples of files. Maybe we can later try that and see. Referencing citation styles that you can choose from. Okay, so let's get back to Word. So we want to add a citation. Let's just use the Elsevier Harvard style that is already highlighted here. And then you click on OK. When you click on OK, you have this window opening. And over here, assuming there is a particular reference or resource you want to use, maybe you just know the name of the first author. Okay, once you start just typing in that first author's name, the rest of the resource will be shown. So you didn't need to go on further. Let me just click over here and see if I can just pick one of them. Let's look at this. Okay, so this is Mwenesi. So we can just type Mwenesi here, and right away you see the rest of the resource appearing. So you just click enter. Okay, so it has appeared there. But over here too, you can edit the citation. Assuming you want this to start with a capital M and the rest to be in small letters, you can easily edit it here. Okay. So you can do the editing. But if you like to, you can go and do it. Okay, so it's saving it. So the next time it's not going to appear with the rest of what you have. So assuming from here we want to put in another citation. Okay, maybe we have something else which needs to be cited. So this also needs citation.
Mr. Message.
Okay. Assuming that for this particular thing that we want to cite, it's from maybe multiple sources. Maybe we want to cite more than 2 articles or 2 sources. We can still come to add and edit Zotero. We click on this button here, okay, this drop down. You have keep sources sorted, and then you have the classic view. When you click on classic view, you see the various resources that you have. Okay, let's say in the malaria project as you have it. Now, to be able to put in more than 1 citation, you click on multiple sources. So, assuming we want to put in this citation, we just click on this arrow to take it in. Assuming we realize it was a mistake and we want to get it out, you can click this to bring it out back again. Okay, so let's say we still want to use it, so you put it in. And then maybe still something from Wenesi, we add, and then this other one from Snow et al, we add.
Okay.
And then you now click OK. Okay.
So, Mr.
Looks like
it's going to appear as you listed them or appear chronologically or alphabetically.
Over here,
I think
I'll have to get back to see which ones I entered. But it looks like I added this Diggle first before Mwenesi and then Snow.
okay, so
But maybe we can just go back and then put them in a different order and see if it's going to let them appear alphabetically. So let's say James
is
was
Sleeping and need citation.
taller by half
listening to your
students. This sleeping needs citation.
Okay. All right. So we want to put in, let's say, multiple resource citation for this other one too. We want to try and see if we should put them in without putting them in the alphabetical order, whether it's going to arrange itself in alphabetical order. So we can click on multiple resources, and let's start with Snow et al, and then maybe Diggle et al, and then maybe Rougemont et al, and click OK. And it's arranged them in alphabetical order.
alphabetical.
Okay, it's arranged them in alphabetical order. Okay, so assuming we have done this, but we need to now insert the bibliography, or what we will also call the references, the reference list. Yes, we can just put let's say references up here, down here, and then we go to insert bibliography. Okay, insert bibliography. And then you have everything appearing there. Okay, we chose the Harvard style. Okay, the Harvard style of citation. So that's what is giving us here. Now, there is another way of also inserting your reference. Let's go to the Zotero page. Okay, so far we haven't put anything on Sapon et al. Okay, we can right click this, okay, and just click on create bibliography from item. And initially this particular why is it not going out? The copy to clipboard wasn't okay. So you can choose any of them, okay, but I chose copy to clipboard. This will allow you to just go and paste that particular bibliography inside your reference list. So copy to clipboard, you just go back to your Word document and you can just use Control V as in to paste, and it will also come here. But you realize that the format here is a little different from what you have there in terms of the font. Okay, so if you like, you can just check what the font size and the font type is here, and then you just come and edit this one just to take the same format. Okay, so
before you proceed, if you copy and come and paste, is it going to do the alphabetical arrangement for you, or you have to look for?
No, assuming you were just pasting as and when you wanted to paste, and you are done, it's not automatically going to arrange for you, so you will have to do the arrangements, okay, by just going to the review pane. Where is that? No, I think the home page, and then you go and choose arrange in alphabetical order, sort in alphabetical order, and can have it being arranged for you. So so far this is what we've come to with Zotero, but then there are other things that Zotero can also do. Apart from just journals, books, and what have you, you can also save videos, okay, or even save pictures, okay, that you may want to also cite in your work. Okay, so when you go to Zotero, when you look at these, where you can add a particular resource, you realize that when you come to the more, you have various or many other types of things that you can actually save in Zotero, from artwork, audio recording, presentation, what have you, video recording, TV broadcast. You can.
We can all read it.
Yeah, so it's also telling us something that anything we use in our work can be referenced. Do you understand it? Almost everything is here. If it's an interview, we can still reference it.
Okay, so I think that I'll bring my presentation to a close here, but then the floor is open for maybe any questions.
You didn't show us the desktop icon, how it looks like.
On the desktop?
Yes.
Just go down, search it. Just go to Zotero, search. Go to search down. Here.
Left.
My search box. Or you just go and click on the windows.
Is this your
click
search
on the
box?
windows.
Down here.
Don't worry, he's a Toshiba user.
Toshiba is a good brand.
So that is it.
Okay, so you have the, but over here we installed the Zotero standalone. Okay, but
you double click it and open.
I would love if you can download the PDF into the
Okay. So you realize that we downloaded okay.
So you realize all the things we were doing on the web are here. They have been synced.
We didn't sync.
Yeah, the preferences we have set it for syncing automatically. Yes.
Automatically.
Okay, so it's saying that if you want to sync, you have to go and log in with your username and password, okay, to enable you to sync. From the preferences pane, the settings pane, you go to preferences, and then you can go and then do that. Okay, but I think that when we downloaded these resources, okay, it gave us the opportunity to actually download, but then I canceled the downloads, okay, but then you can actually download, and then those downloads, assuming you click, you see, when you click the arrow by the side of the article, if there is, assuming there was a PDF file, okay, it will show down here if you had downloaded it. So when you click on that PDF file, it will just open, the file will just open up for you.
For the sample.
Okay, let me do that. Sapon, did we get?
Yeah, just click on the Sapon on the side and let's see.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the PDF file is there.
You asked the question.
So the PDF file to the Sapon is actually there.
So double click it and it will open. View PDF.
So you click on View PDF and you have everything there. All right.
So can you make notes, annotation, and other things?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that from the Zotero pane. Assuming you click on a particular article, you have the notes, tags, and related articles there. So you can make your notes there.
Is it not possible to copy your library files to another?
You copy it to another computer.
And use it.
Is it if the person doesn't have Zotero installed? The person has Zotero. Yes, you should be able to do that, especially if you should establish a link between your PC and then the other PC.
I think you can also
You should be
just
able to
sign
do
in
that.
with your account on that person's PC.
Yes, but you can also copy the library here on the pen drive. If you go to that place, you should. The initial saving position will be shown. You see where it is when you go to the Zotero folder. So you can copy the library there. Then you go to another PC and you copy the show. Just like we have been doing with the endnotes.
And can you also export from Zotero to another reference manager?
Yes, yes, you should be able to do that. I think that one of these tools here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the import, you have export library. So you should be able to do that.
So the format, if you don't want it in listing format, you can change it. So you can change it to any of the other references.
So you have the endnotes here.
Yeah, this is endnote for web.
And mainly.
Yeah, the RIS will work for most of the referencing managers. Like endnote will take RIS. So you can export it this way to any other.
Okay. All right, please. Any other?
Ask questions.
Can you drag a PDF? When you have PDF, can you drag it?
Oh yes, we did that
already.
It came late. Next time, please frequently ask questions.
Yes. so you can actually do that if you have a PDF file. You can just drag it into Zotero.
Join the virtual audience.
And with that case, where will it be? Will it go to the library?
It will come here.
No, you see what we have over here. I think there was one that we dragged in. I've forgotten exactly which.
That is this one.
That's the Sapon later. Okay, so for this one we just drag the PDF there, and then we right click it to load the metadata for that PDF into the system. Okay.
Read frequently asked questions.
Okay. So with that, if there are no more questions.
No, there are more questions. Yes, right. Ask your question. You see, we've been introduced to all these software, okay, our applications, so that we can at least know the weaknesses and then the strength of each. I could see some strength of Zotero.
The multiple.
Yes. And where you could also ask it to load the metadata for you. You know, Mendeley is deficient when it comes to that. Sometimes when you drag and just put it there, Mendeley is unable to pick the metadata. But when you put it in watch folder, it's able to pick it. So in that case, if it had that option of picking the metadata, it would have been best. So in that case, this is good.
So go to tools. Please.
Are you using this one?
No, only an aspect. Only an aspect.
Yes, please. What about tools?
I know you like Mendeley.
All right, audience, my virtual audience. We have come to the end of this presentation, but I will encourage all of us that we should make time and then do some more practice with it. And you even come to know there are other things that we didn't touch on that Zotero can do, okay, to enhance and make your citation and referencing work for your projects a very enjoyable and easy one. All right, so this brings us to the end of today's NGIGO lecture series.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.